Hi, everybody. I wanted to jump on live, and this is actually my third attempt jumping on live today because the feed was off earlier, so it just didn't come through properly. So hopefully everything will work now, but that actually correlates with some things that are going on at this moment. So we're going to talk about the large earthquake that just hit in Nevada. It was a 6.4, 6.5, somewhere in there. We're also going to talk about some Schumann resonance discrepancies that have occurred over the past week. And we're going to talk a little bit about why those might be happening. We also had several volcanic eruptions that have been occurring within the past couple of days. And one thing that I do is I keep an eye out. And once things start to multiply or situations start to multiply, then I come and I let all of you guys know about it. And I also pay close attention during meditations, anything that's coming up, and a lot of phone calls that I get, a lot of emails, a lot of text messages, all of those things. Once they all start to correlate, then I like to bring that all to all of you so that everyone can understand, okay, we're okay, everything's all right, we're not going to read too far into this. But before we get into everything that's kind of going on, I want to first say congratulations to the monthly winner of the Patreon Jillian Grace Network program. So all the Patreons that are signed up, even if you just do $1 a month, you get put into a monthly raffle, and then I make you something. And once I pull the name, I make you something that's specific to you that you need. So sometimes that will be gemstone jewelry. Sometimes it'll be resin jewelry. There's keychains. There's, free being able to sit in on some of the classes for free. There's free appointments and free sessions with myself. So there's so many things that are part of that giveaway. For this particular month, I did some orgonite resin jewelry for the winner. That looks very similar to this. So I'm really excited. So congratulations. Anyone who wants to become a patron, I'll put the link in the bio. You also, you can get a spirit bag for free if you're not already signed up for one. So you have all the stuff that you need for the month. So those raffles are really cool. So congratulations. I was so excited to do it, and then so excited to meditate on someone's personal energy and just give them, whatever they needed for what they right now need to stay nice and stable. So that was really, really cool for me. Okay, so for this current week that's coming in right now, we've had a lot of movement. At the beginning of this week, the Schumann resonance, and for those of you who aren't familiar what that is like the electromagnetic energy of the earth. So it's measured, and it's measured by, I have to be very careful because when I said this word on the last feed, all of a sudden my feed started to not go through as clearly and started to get really wonky. So I was saying, I said the word, I'm going to spell it, and hopefully I spell it right, but Government. So they actually are in charge of monitoring the Schumann resonance. So they have all the equipment, and it's not something that, is done in someone's backyard and then we all just kind of guess and check what it is. It's actually scientifically monitored. So that helps us to understand what level of energy or what level of electromagnetic energy is coming from the earth at any given time. It also affects us because we are electromagnetic energy as well. It's what tells your heart to beat. It's one of the reasons why, they run in with those little things and zap you back if your heart goes out of rhythm. So we are electricity. The earth is electricity. Everything around us has a current, so to speak. And the Schumann resonance is the current of the earth, which normally stays at a relatively stable level. But we have been seeing within the past 3 months, specifically within the past year, uncharacteristically, there's been huge spikes that have happened on and off. But the past 3 months, it's been almost impossible to get your head above water because of these spikes. So that data is recorded and reported to us on a consistent basis. At the beginning of this week, a large portion of the data got swiped, which means it just disappeared. So the actual screen just showed black. That has happened a couple times before, but usually because there's an error within the equipment. This was a whole 24-hour span. Normally it was, for 10 minutes, they'd get it up, 20 minutes, get it up. I think the longest ever before was like 10 hours or something like that. Get it up, and then they can replace the data immediately. For this, when it came back up a full 24 hours later, and this was Monday going into Tuesday, so it was kind of like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, that whole span there. when it did come back, it came and it looked like it was copy and pasted. It didn't even look like it was actual data. So that was a little bit fishy, especially because correlated along with that was a massive amount of people feeling really like they wanted to climb out of their skin. They were very uncomfortable. And so many messages and so many people that I was speaking to kind of talk them down and say, you know, this is okay. This is energy that's running through. So I did a long meditation on that. And I'm not someone who kind of thinks that the world is against anybody. That's never the case. This has a ton to do with all of the work that we're all doing. That Schumann resonance, or that beautiful energy within the earth, is starting to change in a way that people who look at that data don't really want everyone to see, because they don't really want us to I don't want to say they don't want us to become aware of it, because that seems like us against them too. But they, I think they want the information first for themselves to decide how they want to digest. Because I think that a lot of what we're doing on this earth, in the awakening that's happening, is really starting to show up even in science. And that is kind of worrisome to some people, because they're like, oh my gosh, what is this? But the mass meditations that are going on, things like that, incredibly amazing. So as that shifts, a lot of things are going to shift as the earth is shifting. There also, now that it's been recording again, the Schumann resonance has been really high, and it seems to spike at the same time every day. So I am really paying attention to that. We're going on day 5 of it spiking at the same time. And I am working on trying to figure out the conversion of the time when it comes in at UTC, and I'm, standard Eastern time. So I'm figuring out that conversion, and I'm going to start joining whatever mass meditation or whatever is going on that's causing this thing to spike. So I'm going to keep all of you aware of what that time may be, so that you guys can join in too, to add even more people on this momentum, because it's a beautiful train. Even though it seems like a train wreck, it's a beautiful train ride, and you just got to stay on and hold on for dear life right now. On top of that, the actual resonance itself is coming back with really strange waves. So it's cool. And I don't mean to nerd out on all of you, but I just want you guys to know that this stuff is not normal. It's really, really unique, and it's measurable. So I want all of you to understand that you are not going crazy, that you are currently growing, that your soul is connecting. And in order to do that, it's got to heighten its energy a little bit. And that can be uncomfortable. That can cause you to feel shaky. That can cause you to feel anxious. That can cause you to be angry. That can cause all the crap that holds you down, all of the thoughts in your head that make you disconnect from that true self. They are going to surface. And that's what you're experiencing. You're not experiencing a total breakdown. You're experiencing these things surfacing, which is a beautiful thing, as long as you don't project them out or make excuses and try to hold on to them. Recognize them. The first key to working through anything is to recognize, okay, I just totally started yelling for no reason. This must be something releasing within me. The first thing is to notice that. Oh, I'm anxious today. This must mean my spiritual connection is heightening, because that's what it means. For all this time, we've been labeling a spiritual heightening as some medical issue that we've got to, immediately stop. And sometimes, yeah, people definitely have all sorts of issues medically and everything else. But the idea of labeling that excitement feeling immediately and trying to get rid of it is something our culture has been doing for way too long, and kind of got us into this trouble. That is a heightening of energy. And that's also something we're going to talk about in the spirit class that's coming up on the 27th. So I'll put a link in the bio to that class as well. And anyone who's interested, please, let me know or sign up for it, or send me an email, and we, can go from there. But that class is amazing, and it's got a lot of people in it already, so I'm super excited. But we're going to talk about all this stuff in length, so you can understand it, so you can start to apply it, so you can start to help other people as you move forward. But onward and upward to what's going on right now. We are headed into that new moon And that new moon cycle is going to be a lot to do with Gemini. And that Gemini cycle is going to have a lot to do with the throat, which we talked about. Those of you who ordered spirit bags for this month, or those of you who are patrons to the amount where you do receive a spirit bag at a discount, you have everything you need in order to handle this right now. So don't forget, any stone that came in there that is the bluish color, sodalite, that's going to be perfect. Also, if you happen to have turquoise, that's another perfect stone. I don't know if you can see it that well. Ooh. So those are two great stones to try and help you through this right now. And they go right in line with that throat chakra. In the video for the breathing techniques, which I'll also put a link in the description here for May's breathing techniques, at 6 minutes in, there is the Ujjayi breath, which is a heavy throat breath. That's going to help move it through. So those of you who are panicked, not sleeping, going crazy right now, let's harness in that truth, that throat area. That's where it's coming from. And let's move it through. That's what we've got to do. Those of you who are feeling the anger and the frustration come up, that's all about that third center that we talked about. That's all about that major presence of the supermoon still fizzling out when it comes to Scorpio. So make sure that if those of you who ordered the spirit bag, you've already got this, but you've got something like your tiger's eye with you. If you don't have a tiger's eye, carnelian will work. And hey, you know what? If you're absolutely can't handle it anymore, you can even, take a little bit of a stone that's just an orangey color and use that, or even citrine. I know it's yellow, but intention is super important. But citrine can also help with a lot that's kind of going on in that center. That is your yellow center. So that's a really, really good one for it. So any one of those, any range of those will really help with those issues that are moving in, especially if you're noticing a lot of anger rising and stuff like that. The earthquake, yeah, we felt it. Even though, if you're not in Nevada, you still felt it. You're going to start feeling these things within the earth more and more. It's part of aligning. Remember, our bodies are made of stardust. Google it. I'm not just making it up. They're made of the same elements of stars. That's how the energy of that has originated. That's why it's so important to stay aligned. We are also part of the earth energy. Our bodies are made of the things of the earth. They go back to the earth. It's this whole cyclical process. So becoming more in tune and in sync with those things is part of the enlightenment process. So like it or not, you're going to feel these things. And it's great because you're getting an awareness. You're getting the ability to use your intuition for anything upcoming that might be troublesome for you, or that you might need to feel your way through, as opposed to wait for an outside force to tell you it's okay. So be okay and be on board with that. It's super important to just honor these emotions as they awaken. We've been stuffing them down and doing things to stop ourselves from feeling for way too long. So we got to play catch up. Sorry, it's time to play catch up. So when that massive earthquake kind of hit, and there's been a lot of earthquakes in that area. Utah had some major ones, about a month or so ago. And then I think there was these tremors within that fault line there was like 130 that were recorded in a very short period of time. So the earth is going to be moving. We're going to see these things. It is not the end of days. It is just the earth is going to be awakening and cleansing itself as well, which is going to give some events and some things that happen that may be jarring for us so that we can get back on board with where we need to be. So be aware of that and don't feel like you're being a victim to it. The best thing you could do, ground yourself today for that energy. So go outside, put your feet in the grass, go outside, do some breathing, listen to the birds. If you can't go outside because it's bad weather wherever you live, then turn on some music with some bird sounds or some waves or some earth or some, anything that sounds like forest type music. Do something like that and visualize yourself grounding. That is what you need in order to stay balanced. And for those of you not sleeping, good gracious, I don't think anybody has slept. I think I'm going on like day 5 of waking up and waking up and waking up and waking up. And trust me, it can get pretty crazy after that. I'm sure many of you know, and I've had many reports of people not sleeping. Totally normal right now. You know what? Sometimes it's not about going back to sleep. Sometimes it's about getting up and maybe meditating. Meditation, if you do a nice meditation to calm your mind, 30 minutes of meditation, it will calm your body and reset it as if you had 3 hours of sleep. So get up and do a little bit of spiritual work. maybe you're getting jarred to do that. I mean, we're feeling this energy roll in. Go into a room, put on some meditation in your earbuds, listen to some of the meditations that we have through the Astrala Yoga May 2020. Take a peek at those and do one of the guided ones, or do just the instrumental to fall back to sleep to. Great energy to reset yourself with. And last but not least, take care of your animals right now. They are getting the brunt of this. The reports that I'm seeing about animals going through anxiety, animals, refusing to eat, animals struggling, animals, with issues with their digestive systems. This is all them holding on to this stuff for us. So I don't mean to sound like a broken record. Take a look at the pet series for May, and just, even if you just do one, just do the buds of the feet, whatever you need to do that. I really am working, I'm so hard to let you guys know, even with an animal, you take care of your fur baby, it's reciprocal. It's going to heal your energy too. That's why there are so many dogs and cats and animals coming out as kind of like healers for all of us. When you work on them, it reciprocates right onto you. So it's sort of an indirect way of working on yourself if you refuse to do any work. And the animals need it right now. They're holding our energy, right? The earth energy in. They're holding our energy in. So give them some extra help. Okay, that is everything. And I'm so sorry if I spoke too quickly, but I am here for you guys. If you need me, keep sending me messages, keep me in the loop. Comment on this video if you do have any questions. And those of you who are attending the class already on the 27th from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time, please send me your questions like we had talked about, so that I can do any proper meditation or anything beforehand at thespiritthatisyou@gmail.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the Jillian Grace channel so that I can provide you with as much information as you guys need in order to stay nice and balanced. And we can do this together because we've got it. Thank you so much for growing the spirit that is you with me here. I'm Jillian Grace, and I will be seeing you all soon. Take care and breathe.